NATO forces picked up the bombing campaign in earnest today as Fox News has learned that the campaign has mistakenly bombed and killed at least 13 members of the rebel forces we're supposedly there to support. But some of these same forces are known to have some elements of al-Qaeda in them and other nefarious terrorist organizations. Joining me now to try and make sense out of this mess in Libya is former Army Colonel Douglas Macgregor. Colonel Macgregor, welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Hi, Judge.
Do we know yet who these people are that we're supporting, who these people are that Secretary of State Clinton wants us to arm, who these people are that we're fighting for and fighting with?
Well, we're beginning to get a picture, but let's be frank, the Islamist terrorists and jihadists who are pouring into Libya now from various places are not rushing to identify themselves to the American media or to the U.S. government. So it's really hard to tell. The point is it's a motley crew. It's not performing well, it's not coherent, and it's a big disappointment to the administration.
I know that you spent your career in the military, and I know that your advanced studies are in political philosophy and political science, and that you're not a lawyer. But it is against the law for anyone, and I know you're happy about that, it is against the law for anyone to provide material assistance to terrorist organizations, even people in the government. So how can the government come off providing assistance to people who are more likely than not the same mindset of terrorist organizations that the State Department and the Treasury Department bans and that the Justice Department prosecutes people for providing assistance to?
Well, Judge, I think to understand the mindset that is driving this train, you have to keep in mind that people like President Obama and Secretary of State Clinton see themselves as morally superior to others. They think they've captured the sort of market on truth and morality. So whatever they do is justified. You got to go all the way back to 1965 to understand this. When we decided to intervene in Vietnam, McGeorge Bundy told Robert McNamara, even if we lose, and we may, this is still the morally right thing to do. Well, that's absurd. You don't go into anything unless you think you're going to be successful. So if you think you're morally justified, do business with criminals if you think that's the morally right thing to do. It's absurd. That's where we are.
It is truly absurd. But are you suggesting, Colonel Macgregor, that that mindset prevails in Washington, that the president, who won't bring this issue to Congress, both of whom, the president and the Congress, have been back from their vacations for a week now, is determined to make a moral decision on his own, the Constitution, the law, and what's right and wrong be damned?
Well, effectively, yes. Look, he doesn't feel the obligation to go to Congress at all. He has his supporters in the Congress. We know who they are. They're going to support anything he does because they're members of his party. Then he's got other individuals who, to be perfectly blunt, have a cocktail level of familiarity with reality, and they're going to judge this on the basis of what they hear in the media. And right now, most of the media, you accepted obviously, are simply demonizing everyone and anything in Libya that is not part of this rebel group.
Colonel, if there is not a national consensus for war, if there's not a law authorizing war, if there's not a resolution from the Congress or a declaration from the Congress for war, isn't the military little more than the president's personal military, there on the president's personal whim and mission?
Well, I think so, and keep in mind that we've had many, many years now to advance men to the rank of 4 stars who are ideological fellow travelers. People who are absolutely not going to question dumb ideas when they come down from above. They're simply going to go along. That's a huge problem today.
Got it. Colonel Macgregor, it's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
John Boehner's deal with the Democrats.